I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Altruistic Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Noah Keune. Today, I have a good mate. I have a really good mate actually. His name is Heath.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For people that are just tuning in and listening to this podcast, me and Heath would have chatted for probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was a good bit.
Yeah, thinking that the podcast was running, thinking we were like seriously recording, but we weren't recording. We got that far into it.
I was like at a dark point in my life, and I'm like, and I was just like, oh, stop, Heath, stop. I was like, no, it's not that bad. And you're
thought, because you thought I was going
yeah. You're like, no, it's not that bad. And you're like, no, stop, I didn't press record.
Yeah, because you just started talking about some stuff, and then I'm like, stop. You're like, what? I'm like, stop. And you're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, Heath, look, I'm not fucking recording. Oh, mate, shameful. Anyway, welcome back to the Altruistic Podcast. I am joined today by a serious good mate of mine. One of my mates that I really attest to. I mean, I've known this kid for 8.5 years now. We met in year 8 at the start of year 8.
Yeah.
Still a brother, but at the start of year 8 and for that whole year of year 8, even going through to year 12, I always seen you as just, because, I never had brothers or sisters.
Yeah.
Always seen you as a brother, man. Always seen you as like just a little brother.
Mm.
And I was like, I always just wanted to, I don't know, I just didn't want anyone to hurt you. And I was like, if anyone hurts Heath, man, they're fucked.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. But for the people at home, reintroduce yourself, man.
Yeah. My name's Heath Bolt.
Yep.
I'm 20.
20?
And that's my life.
And that's your life, man. Born in May.
Yes. The 5th of the 5th.
Really?
Yeah. Special date.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. I mean, I'm 17th of December.
Oh.
Yeah, 17th of December 2000. So I'm a millennial. No, what's the fucking, I don't know what the word is.
A boomer.
Yeah, boomer. Yeah, boomer. Wait, you're 01, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're fucking,
you're not a boomer.
You're not even 6 months, man. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, man. I mean, this is Heath, man. I can't attest for this kid any more than I can. All I have is good words for you. Always have.
Thank you.
Always been a nice man. Always been a fucking just a comedian, man. I mean, like we said, we used to get in trouble for the word that had come out of our mouth half the time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times in class where we would get asked the questions, and then I'd get sent to the planning room. That'd be a lot.
No, it was Noah that started the conversation about rape.
Yeah, literally. But man, so what? Rocky boy, obviously.
Yeah, born and raised in Rocky.
Always been here, same house, same family.
Yeah, lived in the same house. I've actually had the same family since I was born. Yep.
Holy shit! So they didn't adopt you out, or they probably thought.
Not to my knowledge. No.
But man, what's the situation now? It's just you and Dad, correct?
Yeah. My mum and my dad's split up. I think it was like just after grade 12, like after we'd left school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a bit ago now. A couple of years.
Yeah.
Are they on talking terms?
I don't think so.
No,
they don't like each other.
No. But they share the 2 kids, don't they?
No, Mum just has them. My brother and sister.
No, but I'm saying it's blood. They share.
Oh, yeah,
That's Dad's kids.
Yeah, that's my dad's, like,
Yeah.
what are they called? Chromosomes in them.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at. So what? They really just don't communicate.
I think they text each other every now and then, but that's just like to talk about kids stuff.
Because they have to.
Yeah.
Got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, what does that doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form, or?
It was a long time coming. Like they would fight a lot.
You kind of seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never really got along too well, but
What? So even as a young fella growing up, you'd see your parents fight a fair bit, like know.
It would never be like real bad or anything. They just like have like an argument about shit.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even be like screaming or anything. They'd just be like, oh, this is dumb. Like you shouldn't do that. Like shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah. They was just always like that. It was constant.
But did you see your father ever? Like, was there ever? I mean, I've asked this before, but was there ever like a time where now you look at it now, you're like, oh shit, Dad was in a fucking rough place. But when you're a young fella, you don't think anything of it
Yeah.
because it's not in your head
Yeah.
yet.
Yep, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Shit. And what was that for? Many years, basically.
Yeah. Well, he was working a ton, and he was doing this massive uni course that was real, like, full on at
Yeah.
the time. So, like, we barely saw him. He was either working or in his office doing uni.
Yep.
And yeah,
But that's to provide for you, obviously.
Yep.
That's literally the
Yep.
sole reason why he was doing it.
yep, 100%. It was for us. But like, he would tell me later on that, like, he was on antidepressants and stuff like that during that time.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
So now moving on, like it's you and him.
Yep.
It's basically the boys, as you would say.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had those conversations with him? Like
Definitely.
he turns around and goes, "Yeah, man. At this point in time, I was in a fucked up place, and
Yep.
at this point in time,
We're
Really?
very open about that now.
see, that's good. That's really something that I
Yeah.
feel like I lack that with my father tenfold. Like I mean, I've talked to him a fair few times. Like I am in contact with him, but that's something that I'd really hold dear is that you're able to actually sit there with your father and actually say, at this point in time, man, I was real fucked up, and he can understand that.
Yeah.
But what is there any like has it really made you kind of come to terms and realize, oh, okay, this is why,
Yeah.
mum and dad were acting like this, and this is why this has happened, and
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
okay, and what was that? It's not really. It's obviously not gonna. It is obviously gonna affect you in one way, shape, or another, but did it affect you? Do you think, or
I don't think so, actually.
no?
I think I just understood it.
Yep.
Like, even when I was younger, I didn't really know what was going on. I just understood it.
Yeah,
Like-
mum and
like,
dad would just fight.
they just, like, weren't good for each other at this point in time. And
Yeah.
honestly, them, like, splitting up and moving away probably did the best thing for both of them. Like, they're both a lot happier.
So dad's in a great position now.
Yeah. At
Yeah.
the moment, yeah.
Is he? So did that uni degree work out for him?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's on.
I think it was like, I think he was telling me it was like 50 people went into it and 7 people passed it at the end. I got through it.
So he's on some good money.
Oh, yeah, now he is, yeah.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
good money.
Mm.
I mean, he deserves it.
Yep.
Whenever I met him, he was always a really nice man.
Yeah.
Same with your mother. Both actually really nice people. Hence
Yeah.
why you are such a little shit. Okay. But mum's good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see her too much just because she's out in Gladstone.
But you
It's a
still
bit
do
of a-
get in contact with
Yeah,
her.
yeah. Yeah, she's good. She's got like this little house and everything, yeah.
I mean, but that's like when you think about it, that's the best scenario to end it. Like, you know what I mean? That's the best way for it to really end.
Yeah.
Like they got the best for both of
Mhm.
like each other out of it,
Yeah.
and that's something that you really hope for both of your parents.
Yeah. My dad is a bit sad that he doesn't see the other 2 kids though.
Oh,
But
100%.
that's just because, you know.
You're an hour away.
Yeah.
And he works.
Yeah.
Mum works as well.
Yeah, my sister's a bit of a retard, so.
You can't say that about.
she fucking is. She's a retard.
You can't say that about you.
She's a cockhead.
Oh, mate. Yeah, I mean, she was. Yeah, I'm not going to agree with that statement, but she was a bit how you going when
Yeah.
she'd throw shit and scream at us and
Yeah.
carry on. But anyway, past that point, man.
Yep.
Growing up as a young fella, you obviously. It obviously molded you into the man you are today, and obviously gave you those tools that you really came into as a young
Mhm.
fella. Quick question: looking back at that childhood, what's some things that really stick out? Just anything, any birthdays or memories with your parents, or your dad showing you something that you did with him. What is something that really just boom resonates with you when you think about it? I got you there, didn't
Yeah, I don't really think about my childhood that much. Like, nothing really sticks out.
I? Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple times Mum would take us to like Wet and Wild or something, or like Dream World, and those were really good times.
I'd never been there until I was 20 years old.
Really,
Yeah.
fucking awesome places.
You're telling me.
Yeah,
I missed out as a kid.
Yeah.
But anyway.
yeah, those were good times.
Yeah. So, what was the family both sides based around Rocky, or did you guys travel when you were younger to see other family, or like
Yeah.
have you experienced outside of Queensland basically?
Yeah, I've experienced outside Queensland. I've gone on family trips to Bali and Fiji.
Yeah.
I've been to New South Wales.
Yep.
But all the families in Rocky,
Yeah.
apart from some cousins on Mum's side that live in Brisbane, but that's
Yeah,
about it,
handful of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Bolt clan and also
Yeah.
Mum's side is all based basically.
Yeah,
Rocky.
pretty much. Yep.
So what with work now? You're obviously casual.
Yep.
You're obviously doing uni as well.
Yeah.
What's happening with that?
With uni, well, uni's full time,
Yeah.
so the casual workload really works out well for that.
Yeah. But you're getting enough hours.
Yeah. It's good enough pay where I can just work like a couple shifts
Yeah.
and still live while I'm doing uni
Comfortably.
pretty much the rest of the days.
So wait, you're from Macca's as well?
Yeah, I used to work at Macca's for a little bit. Yeah,
The
fucking
fast food
terrible.
is the worst place I've ever worked in
Yeah.
my whole entire life.
Yeah,
And I'm sure you can testify for that.
yeah.
Hungry Jack's, fuck that shit. Carl's Jr., fuck that shit, man. It was bad.
Yeah.
What's some experiences? Some positive, but give me some negatives that you've experienced there.
I don't know. It was like,
My thing's the people, man.
yeah,
The people are what makes it.
yeah,
That's it.
definitely.
That's the only thing.
100%. And the work wasn't terrible, but it was just like brain dead. Like,
So persistent, same shit.
yeah, this is repetition over and over.
And especially when you get out of school and like you're using that as your main source of income,
Yeah,
and you just work
yeah. You just
10-hour days of just making the same fucking burger.
yeah, it really does just smooth your brain out a
Oh, mate. You lose all consciousness. It's not even funny.
bit. Yeah. Well, it was actually like I left Macca's for trade. Actually,
That's right.
yeah, I did like cabinet making for like 4 months.
And what, you got shit with that too?
That was terrible.
You didn't
That was
like it?
honestly worse than Macca's.
Really?
Yeah, I hated it.
So what? Evolving into that cabinet making, what? That's a full-time 4-year apprenticeship you got offered. And what, at that point in time, you would have thought probably to trade, I need to have a trade under
Yeah.
your belt like every young male.
Yeah.
What was bad? What happened?
Whew.
Yeah.
Fucking man, the boss. He was so like, he was a bit of a Nazi. Like he'd have just like cameras like watching us all the time, and like I'm like an insomniac, so I'd be getting up at like 5 a.m, having like 4 hours sleep, if that, and I'd need like at least like half an hour to adjust, and he'd come out to me in the morning and he'd be like, Heath, you're going too slow. Like if you want this apprenticeship, you got to fucking go up. I was like, bro.
Sure.
Yeah. And he'd just like, he'd make us do the weirdest fucking jobs. He got my mate. My mate did a bit of work experience with him.
Yeah.
And he basically just fucked around with him, used him as free labour. Like he got him to wash his personal car, not a work car, a personal car. He got him to spray all the weeds, mow the lawn. And then,
And you get paid.
nah.
What?
Yeah. And it just wasn't a good environment either. Like one of the other apprentices I was working with,
Yeah.
he was in a bad spot at the time, which didn't help me since I was like just coming in.
So mental as well. He was in a bad mental spot.
Yeah, this guy, yeah.
Yeah.
He was having some troubles with a girl, and like there was a couple times where like we'd be working trying to get the shit done, and he'd be like cutting himself with a screwdriver. And
You're fucking kidding
no,
me.
it was crazy. Or he'd have like a breakdown. He'd just be like sitting in the corner or the shed crying.
So wait, cabinet maker, that's basically, you're obviously building cabinets.
Yeah.
And you're building like
tops for them and stuff like that as well.
yeah, but you're getting the diagrams, aren't you? Well, not the diagrams, but like you're building that, and then it's assembled, and someone takes it away and installs.
Oh, we install it too.
Oh, so you were
Yeah.
installing them as
Yep,
well.
yep.
Yeah.
Unless the only thing we didn't do was stone bench tops, which is a different. That was masonry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, were you on site as well? Would you go
Yeah.
out on site and
Yeah.
install shit?
Yeah.
Not fun.
No,
No.
because the boss, he'd basically get like the diagrams, and he'd like put all the parts that we'd have to cut out on a
Yeah.
USB and put them into the CNC machine, which I would do. It was fucking terrible, and they'd always be a couple millimeters too big or something like that, and they just would not fit into the kitchen.
Yeah. Right.
So we'd have to sit there and sand everything down a couple millimeters.
what,
before we-
hand sand, or you at least?
No,
had,
we'd have like a
okay.
belt sander or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was like everything, like the top cabinets, like the main
Nothing
thing,
was
the
fitting.
stands. Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah. And we'd put it in, and then he'd be like, "Oh, there's like a." And then he'd like obviously go over it all when it's done. He's like, "Oh, there's like a couple millimeters gap in this." I was like, "Yeah, I can't, because fucking we had to sand it down."
Yeah. Right. So what? That was 4 months. You said.
Yeah, it was around that time because
Yeah.
I did. He made me do a month work experience.
Unpaid labour.
No. He paid me.
Just fuck all.
But yeah, he wanted to get like a government grant or something for saying that he employed me when I was 1 month unemployed.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know that shit. I was I did straight out of high school. So obviously I did Hungry Jack's from year 10, so 2015 or 2016, whatever year it was. I think it was 2016.
Yeah.
I did HJs from 2016, so year 10, or no, year 9, sorry. Year 9 all the way through to year 12, I did HJs.
Mm.
I mean, HJs was one of my favourites compared to Carl's, especially being a young fella, just because, I don't know, it was just shits and gigs, man. You know, you're a young kid, you're earning money.
Yeah.
You're pissing it up the wall. You get paid on Monday, it's gone by 20
Yeah.
minutes. Because, you know, you've never had money before.
Yeah.
And someone hands you $700. What are you going to do? Buy
Yeah.
games. You're literally going to buy games. Spotify Premium. Just stupid shit, man. I mean, I did waste a lot on women as well. But anyway, that's it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, mate. That first girlfriend. The first one. Remember that one? From PE.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot of money gone.
Fucking hell. So it's not even like a prostitute or anything?
No.
Oh,
No.
shit.
Half the time didn't even get a root. But anyway.
Dumb bitch.
Yeah, you're telling me, right? Nah, I mean, bless her soul, bro. Looking back on it now, I was a dickhead. But, I mean, that's one thing that I really preach to people now, and that's one thing I'm trying to live by, is you don't need to buy love. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need to,
Yeah.
when that birthday and Christmas rolls around, spoil them. Treat them right. But instead of going out and getting that fucking $5,000 laptop or that $2,000 fucking bracelet or...
Just because she wants it or something.
Yeah, 10 things. It really means something to actually just kind of create something for someone.
Yep.
To put thought behind a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Have you yourself done that for someone, or I just threw you under the bus?
No, I haven't. I don't think so.
Heath.
I'm not like great with gifts. Like I obviously get them stuff, but it's never like really
Yeah, you're not. Yeah,
personalised or anything like that.
yeah,
But I
pretty-
do know what you're talking about.
yeah. Pretty stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of on the borderline of it. I mean, probably the best one I've ever received. I mean, that clock up there is pretty gangster. It's just a
Yeah.
Broncos
I've been
clock.
looking at that.
That's been there since year 9. That's been there that long. But the best thing that I'd ever received would probably be from the last girlfriend. It was a Simpsons portrait of me and her
Oh, really?
sitting on the Simpsons couch.
Oh,
So someone had like artist us
yeah.
in.
That's
like
cool
looked
as.
exactly like the Simpsons. Had my fish in there. Had my sneakers, my
Yeah.
necklace, like all the stuff that she used to wear. It was fucking dope.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's probably the most. Oh no, wait, that's the second most personalized thing.
Oh,
You want to hear the first?
yeah, right.
This is pretty sad when you think about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, now it is.
Yeah,
At the time, it was
yeah.
really good. She wrote a book. Literally wrote a full book. It's downstairs in the shed. A full book on our relationship, like how we met.
What the fuck?
It's published and everything. Like it's a full hardcover book. On the back, it says her name. Has like a little brief thing
That's
of our history.
crazy.
It's got all graphic design in it that
Yeah.
she had created. Thinking back on
Fuck.
it now, it's pretty upsetting. But
It
anyway,
was like chapter 5. He was pounding my pussy so hard. I was bleeding for days.
oh Jesus! We haven't warned anyone yet. We haven't warned anyone yet. Me and Heath's humor is pretty fucked up
Oh,
for the people that don't know us.
yeah.
I mean, I bring out the worst in Heath, and Heath brings out the worst. When you think about it, it's kind of true.
Yeah.
It's always for the better, but yeah, man. I mean, elaborate. Come on, spit some stuff out. You went to St. Mary's.
Yep.
That was the primary.
Yeah. So
Shit, bad, good.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't enjoy it.
Catholic ed.
Yeah. My grades are good just because like I had nothing else to do. I was like reading. I was like really into books.
Yeah.
So like it.
One thing. I know the answer to the later half, but when you were younger, how strict was mum on? Like, were you had to read?
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't have to read, but yeah, my mum was like real controlling. Like she was a control freak,
Yeah.
big time, and she's just been like that her entire life, pretty much.
So when you were a young fella, you had limited time on the game,
Oh yeah, back then I didn't really.
even game.
Yeah. So like, I'd go to my best friend's house and he'd have a 360,
Yeah.
and that's for like when I would play games.
And you'd go for a sleepover.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You would not sleep.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I
'Cause,
feel
yeah.
that.
But fucking, I only got a Xbox 360. I think it was grade 7. My dad just like My dad just randomly bought me the Halo Reach limited edition Xbox 360.
Do you still have it?
Yes.
Keep that shit to the day.
Oh, I
you
fucking
die.
am. It was crazy.
Hang that in, like that's man cave shit when you're old.
Yeah, it's got like the cool like skin on it.
I remember. Oh, I remember it.
Fucking hell.
So he just rocked up with that.
He was like,
What the mate? There's something from your childhood that you.
oh yeah,
Like-
I don't know, forget about it.
Man, that's some impactful
yeah,
shit.
it was pretty cool. But I was like,
You wouldn't have expected that.
no,
It just rocked up
because like,
out of nowhere.
yeah, I think like the most we had at that time was like a DS. Like,
Oh,
and we didn't
I
even
never
have,
had a DS,
yeah.
bro. Anyway,
yeah, but fucking, I think he was like, I think he'd already bought it at this point, but he was like, oh Heath, you know, you got to be good this week. I've got like a present for you. I was like, oh, what the fuck, like.
in your head, you were like a
Yeah.
lollipop or like some candy.
I was thinking like he was gonna give me like chocolate or something.
Yeah.
Or like but it was like Saturday or Sunday after like
Yeah.
that week, and he's like, Mom told me you were a good boy at school and stuff like that. So he brought me to his work.
So at the time, where do you work?
At Ergon.
Yeah,
He worked
okay.
at Ergon, so he brought me to his like office that he worked at.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I was just sitting there. He's like pointed at the desk, and there's just like the Halo Reach limited edition like set up there and everything. I was like, wow.
He's like, that's yours.
Yeah. He's like, don't tell Mum.
What?
Yeah.
And what, you got to sit there and jam games
Yeah.
for a whole day?
Yeah. And then, but he like kept it at this work for a little bit
Yeah.
because Mum wouldn't have.
Oh,
Been happy with that.
so you two were like
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
sly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually she found out because I told her.
Oh, you
'Cause I was-
snitched on yourself.
Yeah, I know. I was like real close to my mum at that point.
Oh, well,
I'll,
I
like,
mean,
tell
you,
everything.
you still are now, but as well.
Yeah. But fucking. Yeah, so eventually got moved to our house, and then I could only like play it 2 hours a day on the weekend and stuff like that. Yeah.
2 hours a day on the weekend.
Yeah, and I'd have to have at least an hour break in between the hours, so I could play one hour. Like she'd get like an egg timer.
You're lying.
No, she'd had like
So you're telling me she let you sit down, play for an hour,
yeah,
get the fuck outside or
Yeah.
do something else for a whole hour,
yeah,
and then play another hour?
yeah, and then play your last hour.
No way.
Yeah, it was crazy. And she'd have like an egg timer, like 60-minute egg timer to time us on. And I'd always like just wind it back a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I won't lie to you. I've never had that my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get internet till year 8. I had no internet until, like from year 7 to year 8.
Yeah.
So the transition of that year of 2013, that's when we finally got internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. That was...
Yeah.
That's where it went, baby. I dedicate my whole thought process to that year.
Yeah.
FaZe Clan.
Yeah.
Optic.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I ever seen on YouTube. I
Yeah.
literally remember I hooked up my computer, my school laptop, the first day we got our school laptops. Mum typed in the password thinking that my laptop forgets my password when I go to school. That shit don't forget. Anyway, I remember I came home that afternoon, opened it up, YouTube, right? The first thing I see is Optic Gaming playing against FaZe Clan in Call of Duty Ghost at Champs. So Champs.
Ooh.
And I click on it. And I've played COD before. Like I've played COD, but I've never had internet to play COD.
Yep.
I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm watching these 8 guys verse each other and they're all getting hyped and shit. I'm like, they're really good. Anyway, Optic win. They didn't know. It wasn't chance. It was qualifiers. They won qualifiers and they all won like $5,000 each. And at the time, $5,000 was a lot.
Yeah.
I remember they won, and from that day, I was like, I want to be a professional Call of Duty player. Oh, man. I hooked up my PS3 to the internet. Black Ops 2, baby.
Yeah. The dream of many a young boy.
Oh, mate. Oh, just fucking... I miss it, man. I miss the days of just jamming games.
Yeah.
I really do.
A simpler time.
Oh, much, much, much simpler. Something that we just didn't need to think, really. But that's a really good progression into the next question that I have. So, obviously, you've seen the hardships that Mum and Dad went through. You've seen the arguments that they had. Now, looking back at it now, you're able to sit down with Dad and really communicate with him and voice each other's feelings and say, I was here and this was there and that was here.
Yeah.
Looking at it now, when did you really start to see your first form of bullying as a young fella?
Well, I would, because I was in such a small friend group.
Yeah,
In-
and a small school.
Yeah,
Keep that in
it was
mind.
it was literally like one class for each grade.
That was
School.
because ours was 2 as well.
Yeah, and like it was like literally me and 2 other guys. We were like pretty good friends.
The boys.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
were the nerds too. So we'd always sit there and just talk about games every lunch and shit like that. So obviously we weren't that popular. We'd get bullied a bit, not like hard or anything. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, nerds and stuff like
Yeah,
that. And
yeah.
like, what the fuck are you doing? Just like shit like that. And whenever it come to sports events,
Yeah.
they'd like always make fun of us whenever we do it. But that stuff wasn't.
So nothing, no physical. You never got
No.
beat up as a little fella or
No,
anything.
no.
I mean, I did when I was young. Actually, yeah, I did actually. Probably like year 2, in year 3 actually. Yeah, I did. Probably by year 7 as well. Think about that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, this kid's 12 and I'm 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Did you bite his dick or something?
Nah, man, nah. This kid used to like, I don't know. I don't even remember who the fuck it is, to be honest. But I remember what he looks like. But anyway, because I just remember walking and then out of nowhere he just like full on like punched me in the gut as hard as he could.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Or he used to give me Chinese burns. I'd even see him and go, "Hey man, how you going?" And he'd just fucking Chinese burn me or kick me in the gut.
Or dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it didn't help because then once I hit
No.
like year 4, I just became big, and I was like, "Don't fuck with me." I used to go, "Fuck." Oh yeah. Anyway, that's a naughty boy, naughty boy. So man, only verbal is what you really experienced as a young fella.
Yeah.
I mean, did you always keep them 2 boys all the way up until year 7?
Yeah.
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 And what to this day do you boys still talk or?
No. Yeah, no, we like it was pretty much as soon as we went to high school, we went to different high schools.
Okay.
And like lost contact.
How many people from your school went to Emmaus?
A good couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good couple. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna think of that number, but it was like
Yeah.
maybe half of them.
a
Yeah.
few. Yeah. I mean, we had 6 that didn't from 2 grades. 2 classes.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Ugh.
We're a full feeder to Emmaus.
Yeah.
So, man, evolving from that, what? Back in the primary school days, you got verbally abused a little bit, but it sounds bad to say it, but as a young fella, like you just don't really fucking think about it,
Yeah.
especially as a boy.
It's just kids, honestly.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
when I'm a little fella, like when I remember back to being a little fella, I just remember talking shit, but like you don't ever think
Yeah.
it's gonna be bad or anything. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of just teasing someone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally pretty much all it was.
Yeah.
Just teasing.
Before we evolve into that high school type of a thing, did you ever have a crush back in primary school?
No.
Really?
I was extremely emotionally awkward, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I never thought about any of that stuff.
Really? So you never
Yeah.
had that that one little crush that you had in primary school?
No.
Wow, I did. Jesus. I'm not gonna say that. But evolving off that, going into that high school side of your life, starting that evolution. I mean, you weren't what's the word? You wouldn't have been well, you would have been. You did have a protective mother, so
Yep.
Going into high school, it would have been kind of like a sensory overload, was it not?
Yeah, it was a bit scary and confused because you had like fucking timetables and like shit like that. Like in primary school, I was used to just being in the one class.
Oh yeah,
and they just
one teacher.
Yep.
That's one
So
thing
it
that
was-
freaked me out,
yeah.
especially because, like I said, I had no internet growing up.
Yeah.
So you go from not having any internet, the same class every day, the same lunch table, like, the same shit.
Yeah.
And then you leave and you go to fucking high school and there's like, there was like 380 kids in
Yeah.
our grade or 400 kids
Shit
in our
was
grade.
fucking whack.
Literally, I remember that first day. Oh, man. I remember the first day how we had to walk up the fucking middle concrete into the bloody...
Oh,
into
yeah.
the bloody dome, not the dome, the
Is
hall.
Yeah.
And then we had to, like, our parents had been given that paper that'd tell us what class we were in, and they had the
Yeah.
big signs, like, whatever.
It was so gay.
Oh, mate. I remember my mum dropped me off, and I was like, she's like, do you want me to walk you inside? I'm like, fuck no. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I remember I got out the car and shit. She's like,
Yeah.
have one, typical shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off, man. See you later, bro. All I remember is like so many kids' parents like at the door hugging them and crying and shit. And I just remember walking up like, what the fuck are these kids doing, man? Like,
Pussy.
yeah, literally. Like, we're starting high school. It's like
Yeah.
nothing big.
Oh.
But yeah, man, I remember good old Mr. Finlayson's class.
Oh, yep.
8F.
Yep.
8F.
Mm-hmm.
What a gang of
Yeah, that was fun. That
delinquents
class.
we were.
Fuck.
So
Oh,
what?
dear.
Going to that point, that first initial time that you went into class, do you remember anything? Do you remember that first day, that first couple of weeks? Like, what do you remember?
Yeah, I remember like just trying to find friends, honestly, like because I was so used to those two friends from primary school. I didn't have them anymore.
No.
So it was just like looking for people
So just communicate
that
with.
I knew at the very least. But then I just found my own group and shit like that.
So in year 8, who did you cruise with out of our class in the start?
Braden Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was in our class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was the only one I knew.
Wasn't Zayden in our class?
Yeah, he was, but I didn't know it. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's a memory I have of grade 8 is going into the class for the first time, sitting down next to
Mr.
Braden.
Finlayson's.
Yeah, sitting down next to Braden, and in front of us was fucking Zayden and Bailey.
That's all right, because they were in our fucking class, man. Yeah.
And Bailey, because he's got like I think it's like mild autism or something like that.
Yeah,
He's got autism, but it's not like full on.
Yeah.
But he just like turns around and looks at me and gives me this fucking creepy smile. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, he did have a bit of a smile, didn't he?
Yeah.
He'd look at you like you were a piece of meat sometimes, but
Oh.
anyway.
And I wasn't I?
Yeah, you were a little pork chop.
A little morsel.
Yeah, little pork chop. See, man, yeah, because we had the popular chicks in our class too.
Yeah.
We had a lot of popular chicks in our class.
Yeah.
We had a lot, actually, thinking about it now. I think we had 2 kids in our class that I knew.
Yeah.
We had Georgia Assay, didn't we?
Oh yeah. Because she made Mr. Finlayson, her and do you remember that? It was like Georgia and Addison, I think it was, were like
That's the other fucking cunt that was in
Yeah.
Addison Kent. Yeah, I knew him as well.
they like made Mr. Finlayson cry one time.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they were just counts.
Yeah.
They were literally just counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Erin Hassan as well.
Yep.
But I only knew her because of Kick.
Oh.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
Kick.
Mm-hmm.
Kick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was some fucking weird shit. Kick was weird. I'm just gonna throw that out there now. Kids these days don't know about that. Think
Yeah.
about that. No, like the kids our age now don't experience Kick.
Well, good luck.
Oh, mate, that grew me as a man. Anyway, it did, bro. It did, 100%.
Damn.
Anyway, man. So what? As soon as year 8 starts, you bond to these 4 boys. That was kind of that was your clique for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, we hit it off pretty fucking quick.
Yeah. That was like when we were like the closest. Honestly, it was just
Yeah.
grade 8.
Yeah.
We were like real close then.
But I won't lie to you, I don't remember the first time we really started talking.
Me neither.
That's what I mean.
I honestly don't know. I think it was just like we just made a couple of jokes at each other or something, and we just started
It was just so like not fluent. What's the word?
like natural. Sort
yeah,
of, like.
yeah. We just started cracking jokes, and
Yeah.
from there I'd just start talking to you and just asking how you were every day.
Yeah. Fucking these nuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot what I was talking
Your
about.
train of thought just went so hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I will add this in. It is pretty hard when the headset's on and the mic's in your face, eh?
Oh, it feels nice actually.
Yeah.
It makes me feel nice and comfortable.
It does get a bit nervous
Nice
sometimes.
and snuggly.
But what do you remember from year 8? Like, was there like obviously that's a wake up call. Obviously, it's a
Yeah.
big culture shock for you coming from such a small school. Is there anything that really stands out to you from year 8 where you kind of look at it and go, like, remember back to it and go, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, this is me actually starting to become a man and actually starting to evolve into something, or?
Oh, not really, honestly. That was I still was like extremely emotionally awkward. I was
Yeah.
like that pretty much all of high school.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't remember that.
I was like real. That was real bad actually. Like, I just couldn't figure out my emotions
Yeah.
very well.
See, that's one thing. When you were surrounded by people that you were comfortable with, you were Heath.
Yeah.
But when you were surrounded by people that you weren't comfortable with, you weren't Heath. You
Yeah.
were just so distant from
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Like
Literally.
if you were, like, I can really think, I can look back a fair bit. Like, I remember, remember the bobsled?
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit. That's funny to think about.
Like,
That's really funny thinking about. That was you, me, and Ryan, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, just for a grasp out there, we have a tute class. So that's like your core class of people at Emmaus. It's like that at every other school.
yeah,
But after lunch, you'd have a thing called prayer and reading, and you'd have tute once a week or whatever it was.
yeah.
And you'd all get together and you'd sit there for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes and you wouldn't say a prayer. No, they made us say a prayer. They used to at the start.
Yeah.
They'd make you say a prayer and you'd sit down and read a book for whatever, how long it was. But we hardly ever read books. We just talked shit the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mr. Finlayson pretty much just let us do whatever.
Yeah, he was gangster, man.
Yeah.
He's a really cool man. I remember you, me, and Ryan would sit up the front of the class. Thinking back at it now, it's like we were trying to make everyone laugh.
Yeah.
That was our goal. Like we would try and say jokes or just try and say shit or do shit so everyone else would laugh at us because that was like our thing. Our thing was just to make other people happy, really, when you think about it.
You know, probably worst day in grade 8
Yeah.
was when you found out that I was ticklish.
Oh! What class were we in?
We were in shoot.
Oh, we
I
were?
remember because I was like, you were like started tickling me. I was like, oh no. And I was like running under the desk, like trying to get away.
Oh,
you grabbed me by the legs and dragged me out and just tickled the shit out of me. I was like on the brink of death by the end of it.
Yeah, bro, I think I do remember that now. I think I do remember that. Because, yeah, Miss Finlayson literally didn't care. Like, we'd stand up, talk.
Yeah.
We'd be walking around. You'd be running around the classroom, and I'm
Literally.
chasing you. I'm like, I'm going to get you. You'd be jumping over tables and shit.
Yeah.
I remember that now, actually. Because you went under the desk, like, under, like, 5 sets of tables, and I just grabbed your leg, and just fucking dragged you. And you were, like, clawing.
Yeah.
You were full clawing, like, man, please don't, man. Please stop, man.
I was so ticklish.
I just spun you around. Yeah, you almost pissed yourself. But anyway.
It was so bad. Oh.
I mean,
no, this is joking.
I mean, looking at it now, I laugh at it. But yeah, it was mean to do.
No,
but
that's not actually the worst day.
I'm pulling your leg, man. I'm pulling your leg.
Okay.
But what year 8? That really everyone says this, but I feel like year 8 you don't really notice anything. You don't really do anything. Nothing's really that impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's such a rush.
Yeah.
You don't remember shit from that year. Like obviously there's times that we remember, but there's nothing that you sit back and go.
Yeah, it's.
It was just so much information, especially with how many classes we had.
It's definitely a blur.
100%. Evolving off that, Mum was still strict.
Yeah.
Still the same 2 hours of fucking weekend.
Yep.
Still all that crazy shit.
Yeah. That didn't really change that year.
You were riding your bike to school too.
Yeah.
I was too. You remember that? You remember that back in the day?
Yeah. I remember one of the most embarrassing things that happened actually, because you had to go to the bike racks for.
We had to ride down the side
We had
alleyway.
to ride down like that dirt pathway.
Yeah.
And all the grade 8s and shit would be like,
Yeah.
fucking around the.
Oh, this is like when we're getting older, like year 9 and 10.
No, this is in grade 8.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I remember riding my bike down that dirt pathway.
Yeah.
And fucking Ben Dingley runs out in front of me. And I literally I try to turn my bike and I just fucking face plant and fall off of it in front of the entire grade 8. It was bad.
I think I remember that.
Oh,
Because everyone,
I was so embarrassed.
as soon as it happened, everyone was like, just made that noise,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
that. And I remember turning around. Because you were so small, man. In year 8, you were so...
I could not stand on my bike.
That's what I mean. You were so small, and you dusted yourself off, picked a bike up, and just walked. You didn't ride. You walked the rest of the thing.
I was like, fuck, just fucking keep going.
Oh,
It was so embarrassing.
Man, that brings back some memories.
Yeah. But touching on something,
Yeah.
you know in Riley Bedwood's podcast?
Yep.
When he was talking about that one time he went to planning room?
Yeah.
And it was like, because they were playing lunchbox footy.
Yeah.
And it was like some fucking dumbass. They were playing it with some dumbass's fucking lunchbox and it had a banana in it.
And he opened the banana.
Yeah, that was me. That was my lunchbox they were playing with. And I got them sent to planning room.
You snitched.
Oh, I actually, sorry.
Snitched.
Well, yeah. Let me defend myself.
Oh, okay.
I hate my shit being touched.
Okay, so order of the court. Order of the court.
Yeah.
So we've heard the Bedwood side. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm
Suck my dick.
gonna chop these up.
All right.
And like, man,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, elaborate. Order of the court. This is Heath's side of the story.
He pretty much did tell it how it was. Like, I'm
Okay.
not saying like, oh, he's wrong or anything. No, he told it pretty much how it was.
Yeah.
But here's my side of it.
Yeah.
It was like Zayden. So it would be like Zayden, Bailey, Riley, and like Ben or some others doing it.
Yeah.
They would just take my lunchbox
Without
like,
consent.
Yeah, without me knowing.
Oh,
like I'd be like
shit.
on my laptop doing nerd shit,
Oh,
so I
as we
wouldn't
do.
know.
Yeah.
and I had it in my banana, and I hate my shit being touched.
Oh, I
like
know.
you can do anything like to me,
Oh, I know.
but I don't do shit to my property.
You freak the fuck out. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember looking up. I was like, and Ben Dingley had my lunchbox. I was like, no, Ben, like, there's a banana still in there.
Yeah.
He looked me dead in the eye, and slammed my lunchbox on the ground 3 times.
That's the one, the like the collapsible one, not the plastic one. Yeah, like the one with the little fucking handle.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, oh no, and he was all laughing. I opened it up, and the banana was just all through it. And how it got all over me was I tried to throw the banana at Ben, and he blocked it, and it went back over me, and I was pissed. So I went to the planning room. I went to the office just to get him sent, just Ben Dingley.
Oh.
So I was like pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he fucking like smashed my lunchbox into the ground.
So you're like taking the right course of action.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, so who else was playing this lunchbox footy? I was like, oh, it was just like, Riley, Zayden, Bailey. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they all got sent to planning room. And I was just going for Ben. But for some reason, they all got sent.
The collateral.
Yeah. I did not mean for him to go. I didn't mean for him to go planning room.
You took them all
That's
out,
my defense.
man.
That's my
Okay.
defense.
All right, we'll let that slide. I mean, it is valid.
Yeah.
I mean, I roll by a different code. Never snitch, man. Never fucking tell.
Oh, yeah.
You remember me, bro.
I was a different person in grade 8.
You were a real straighty, eh?
Oh.
Yeah, you're a real straighty
Yes.
180. I started saying some things, and you would be like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like I talk about weed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I was completely straight edge in high school.
I talk about weed, or I talk about alcohol at the start, and you're like, "Nah, man."
Yeah, I'd be like, no, that shit's bad.
I remember
don't
you.
get into that.
I remember you used to tell me, you're like, "Don't do that, man. You can't do that. You'll die." You used to say it. Durries too.
I was brainwashed.
Yeah. Ooh,
I was like completely like looked at that stuff as just bad.
the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Jesus. I remember. See, I can't. Oh man, I got sent to planning room way too much throughout my whole fucking schooling career. I can't remember the first time I got sent. I won't lie to you, but I got sent a fucking lot, and you witnessed a lot of me getting sent to planning room. Remember Miss Tobin?
Yes.
The first time I got sent by Miss Tobin, it was like the start of the year in year 8, and she's Noah. And I'm like, I don't believe in God. I'm like, why? Like,
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
It links all in the head now. In that little fucking classroom.
Yeah.
That one that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. What was I doing? I can't remember. I remember I just kept looking.
I don't remember the details of it.
Yeah, I was just looking at the table or something, or tapping the table, and everyone else was talking. And I was like, she's like, no. I'm like, and then me, I just get all defensive. I was like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even believe in God. What do you have me in this class for?
Yeah.
And she's
yeah.
straight to the planning room, no questions. Should have seen me trying to explain that to Mr. Egan.
Yeah. Fucking.
He's a very understanding man.
Yeah, he was actually.
He completely knew and understood. He's like, I feel you, man. I was like, I remember sitting there. I was like, I just don't find it interesting. I'm just sitting there quietly, tapping my desk, and I get sent to planning room. Oh, shit.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get sent a bit. Not as much as you, but
No.
it was always just for talking.
Yeah.
I just like to talk.
Yeah.
I'd get so bored and I'd just talk.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've seen, that you were very, very, you couldn't handle not having that communication with someone.
Yeah.
Like if you were lacking that communication with someone, you'd want to talk.
Yeah.
Remember History of Miss Baker?
Oh, yeah.
And then we had Miss Fox for religion. Yeah, you can tighten that up if you want.
Huh?
On the sides, these tighten it up.
I just like playing with it.
Oh, okay. No, I was just making sure. So, once again, year 8, a blur.
Yep.
The lunchbox story is probably the biggest thing that stands out.
Yeah, and I just got reminded of it because listening to Bedwards.
Yeah.
And then I was like, he's like, oh, I don't know how it got on him. I was like, I do, because that was me.
And you just wanted to get on here
Yeah.
and
I
clarify.
was like, it got on me because I tried to throw it at the cunt.
Well, I mean, impactful for me in year 8 was probably like, I broke my leg.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, broke the leg.
I remember when you did like tried to do a backflip or something.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hurt my neck.
Yeah.
Cracked something.
I think I watched that. I watched you do that. And you just like got up and you were like holding your neck. I was like, oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just went straight to the office. I was like, he's not okay.
Yeah. I remember that. And then I dated Puerto Rico for like 4 days.
Did you date her?
Yeah, for 4 days.
I remember you like being really into her.
Oh, yeah.
I never knew you dated her actually.
For 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I won't lie. She's probably not watching this, but yeah.
Did you fuck her?
Oh, Heath, bro. You can't say that, Heath.
Oh, sorry. Did you?
Heath. Oh, fuck. Oh, Heath, I love you. No, Heath, I did not have sexual intercourse with her. No, man. I remember I asked her out, then I ran away.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
Yeah. And then she broke up with me like 4 days later because I hugged her like twice, man. That's a high school crush right there.
Yeah.
Hugged her like twice, and it was so awkward. And there was like 20 people watching us, and 2 people were recording with their phones. Do you remember? You remember that shit?
Yeah. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was cringy.
That's
shit.
why I just like never got into that shit.
Yeah,
It just made it worse.
literally. So what? Thinking about it, evolving from year 8, year 9, year 10, around that type of margin. You're what? You went from what I seen and what I perceived of you. You went from that straight edge kid, and you kind of started to crack and break a little.
A tiny bit.
Yeah.
I was still real straight edge.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty comfortable with like drinking and stuff. In fact, like I very much wanted to drink.
Yeah.
Like tried and stuff like that. But everything else was still like.
I feel like this is what I think in my head.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of started it was that sleepover in year 8. My birthday sleepover at my house.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's what kind of
probably
like started kind of everything, planted a little seed in your head.
You little.
I don't even remember what we did. I mean, we went somewhere before. We went to the movies, didn't we?
Yeah. We went to the movies.
Star Wars. No.
Oh, I can't remember the movie actually.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Star Wars.
No, it was something. We went there and we come back here. You, me, Logan, and Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy Ellison, my mate. Yeah. And what we do, we jam. And that's right, because you stayed over 2 nights.
Yeah.
You stayed over the first night, and then your mum came to pick you up, and you walked outside and promised her and begged her to stay another night.
Yeah.
Because my mum didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, bro, you can stay another night. And you're like, can I? Because I remember you were like, can I please, man? Can I please? Can I please?
Yeah.
I was like, 100%, man, 100%.
Yeah.
And you stayed over that second night, and you stayed up all fucking night.
Yeah.
You didn't sleep.
No, I didn't.
I remember I went to bed. I'd slept for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
I woke up and you were still jamming
Yeah.
Advanced Warfare on the
Yeah.
PS4.
Yeah, I think your mum came into the room. She was like, "Noah, like get up and play with your friend." I'm just sitting there, just like, "That's okay. Like I can do this."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. She busted it because you were in that room and I was in this room here,
Yeah.
and she like smashed in there. And she's like, "Go fucking play with your friend. He's sitting in there by himself." And I'm like,
I was perfectly happy.
Yeah, I'm like, he's good. I just sat with him for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think he's happy.
Yeah.
Because I remember I walked in there and sat down next to you and I was like, "You right, Heath?" And you're like, "Yeah."
My eyes are like bloodshot.
Oh, yeah. You're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Man, you've played that for like 36 hours in the past 2 days." You're like,
Is that all it's been?
yeah, literally. You're like, "Yeah," because you had everything. You had Coke. There was
Yeah.
chips.
Yeah.
You were surrounded. You could
Paradise.
Yeah, you could literally go have a wank in the bath, in the toilet. Literally, whenever you wanted, you could just go to the toilet.
Oh.
The internet wasn't tracked. You could do anything. You could look up anything. You could play anything.
Yeah.
You could literally do anything, and that's where I feel like I kind of corrupted you that little bit, just that teeny bit.
It's like that nice little bit of freedom.
Yeah, and that
little taste.
that little drug.
Left me for more.
And then what? That's year 8 going into that year 9 period. So evolving into that, like I said, year 9 to year 10. Anything stand out? Anything impactful, or was it just still the same straighty 180?
It was honestly the same, but I remember those years very fondly actually.
So year 8 and 10.
Year 9
and 10. Sorry, yeah.
and even 11. But because my friend group would just be the most retarded. Like we would do the most retarded shit.
Oh,
but
I know.
It was so fun.
Oh, I know.
I had the most fun in those lunch times.
Climbing those trees.
Yeah, and like it'd be like we'd throw food at each other.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like the banana if
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it, or like Connor's fucking milk.
Yeah,
His like milk thing that he had. He wouldn't want it, so we'd like grab it and we'd try and like bust it on people.
Yeah,
It was so fun. Yeah.
all that dinosaur shit or whatever the fuck it was. There was something that you used to
What?
do, bro. I don't know. I just can't remember. I'd be like, Heath. Like, I'd see you from a distance and be like, Heath. And you'd just sprint at me. Sprint and jump. You would just jump. Like, literally jump at me. I'd try to catch you every time.
Yeah.
Just the dumbest shit. But, like, looking back at that then, was there any form of mental health, or you were just what? You were just...
It was honestly just the same stuff. I remember dealing pretty like hardly with like pretty badly with my height and just like how small I was.
Yeah.
I had the same.
Well, so body image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the same uniforms from grade 8 to grade 12, and I never grew into them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my mum bought them. They were too big for me in grade 8. And they were like a dress on me, and obviously just like in these oversized clothes.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you feel great.
Yeah, because I'm sure her thinking was she'd buy them in year 8.
Yeah, and I'd just grow into them, and she wouldn't have to. Yeah, it worked, but like
kind
it
of
didn't make
ruined,
me feel great.
kind of ruined your image at the same time.
Yeah, and like I'd always have people call me midget and shit like that, and like kind of being rough with me, not in like a bullying type of way, but just because they like could.
Verbal.
Yeah.
I mean, I was polar opposite, man. I was on the other spectrum.
Mm.
I'd balloon, I'd shrink, I'd balloon again, I'd shrink again, and that was really self-conscious on my half as well.
Mm.
I mean, I still suffer from that today, obviously, but
yeah, you can't ever get rid of it.
yeah, you kind of what I've really realized now is that's you.
Yep.
That's literally you.
Yeah.
And there's still someone out there that, there's always going to be someone out there that loves you no matter what, even when you don't love yourself. That's something I've really realized. You might not think that you look good today, or you just might not like your weight that you think or act toward yourself.
Mm.
There's always someone. I mean, it might just be your mum today, or it might just be your brother or your sister or your dog even, or your fucking bird.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be that one person that you can look to and actually think, fuck, this person cares about me and doesn't care what I look like.
Yeah.
That's something that I really find impactful to think about sometimes.
Yeah.
So what that friend group that you surrounded yourself with wasn't the best friend group to surround yourself with. I mean, obviously it was from that comedy standpoint and just the shit and the jokes that you used to crack.
Yeah, they were fun.
But they were a bit corrupting at the same time. I mean, not corrupting in a sense that it was just kind of an overload, would you not say?
I honestly don't think they were bad.
No.
They were not the ones that would really like call me midget and shit like that.
No.
Nah.
No, I'm not saying it from that point. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying that was some funny. That was some fucked up boys at the same time.
Yeah. But like, I was totally into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the comedy and your humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of I could never like think of myself as like attractive too. Which
Yeah.
it was honestly now I think of it, I'd never thought I was attractive. Like
you'd look at yourself and you just wouldn't think that.
yeah, I would think like, I would never be able to get a girlfriend like this, and that played into like my emotional like just how awkward I was with my emotions, stuff
Really?
like that. Yeah, and like I would just think I was just like completely just unattractive.
So what? That started to span off in year 9 and 10, correct? Or
No, that was still there.
no? That's when it expanded. That's when it started. Like where where the seed started to go in your mind. Because I mean, year 8, you are like, oh, she's cute, she's pretty, but you're not like not thinking at the same time. Once that year 9 and 10 starts to hit, because you got to think social media, like I've said before, was a fucking bitch, man. Social media really kind of corrupted us in that way. Like, even the porn we watch, when you think about it, we watch porn with women with big titties and a big ass and thin, completely fake. We watch porn with males with cocks bigger than our fucking forearms, and that kind of played into our heads like, you must look this way to be attractive, and you must look this way to gain some sort of success or be held to a standard in society. So I mean, as you say that, I seriously resonate, man, because I was once again.
I think that's a pretty common thing. Yep.
Yeah, once again, I was tenfold on the exact same other field. Like I always convinced myself and told myself that I would never find a girlfriend or no one could ever love me or care for me like that. But you saying that from year 8 to year 10, did that just slowly, progressively get worse?
Yeah, honestly. Like I remember looking back, I remember literally times when, you know, it'd be like some girls in our class or something would get their friends to come off and be like, oh, you know, this person thinks you're cute, or like this person really likes you or something like that. I would just completely brush them off, because I would, in my mind, all I could think was that they were trying to make fun of me somehow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I just think there's no way they could actually be attracted to me.
Yeah, because there was times I was trying to push you to that first one.
Yeah.
I'd try and tell you, like, you know, I'd try and be like a little fucking support.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah.
Heath, man, just go for it, bro. Like, you know, like.
Yeah.
And you'd always just say to me, like, nah, man, nah, I don't want that. I remember you used to just say, nah, I don't want that. I don't need that. Yeah. Like, I'm good with what I have. I'm good with my games. I'm good with my mates. And I just always used to say, you know, women are a fun ride, man. Anyway, is that looking at that now? Is that mental health, as we start to span into that and start to talk about that, is that where a core fragment of that health, the mental health and the depression that you suffered from, was it from those first initial thoughts?
No, actually.
No?
No.
So evolving into that, like, what were some of those demons that you did suffer from during your school? What was some, if you want to get into that and talk about it?
Oh, yeah. It would just be, I guess it sort of does. It'd just be like confidence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be confident in myself in other areas, just like me as a person, sort of a thing.
See, I always seen you as a confident man. Like, I knew you did suffer from, you know, like body image thoughts and stuff, but you just had a I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah,
like
that was literally the mindset I would make myself think. Cause like, I don't care.
Because you'd be
That's
like,
how I deal with it.
Yeah, man. I just remember, like, you know, just anything, bro. Like you said, like we'd have PE or swimming in the pool or at lunchtime. We'd be talking and screaming and just acting like complete delinquents. And I'd be like, or you'd say something, I'd be like, Heath, bro, you can't say that. You're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care, man.
Yeah. It was like all for the joke or something like that.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it.
So what, was that a persona, not a persona, but was that a different side of you that you were putting on to kind of...
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a persona, but it was definitely something I was pushing myself to show.
Yep.
To be more like.
Yep.
To just not give a shit.
Okay.
Like, not care, and just like always do stuff just for the joke or the funnies sort of a thing.
So what, looking at that now, did you have anyone that you were able to talk to or turn to? Were there points in time where you were in dark places, and how was that?
I didn't really have too many real dark times at that point. I was just sort of cruising. But yeah.
It was just that little Heath in the back of your head saying that you're not big enough, you don't look good, that type of stuff.
Yeah. There's and then it was honestly, I just accepted it by that, and so I didn't have too many problems with it. So obviously
you dealt with the cards that you were given, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, it was only until like my first girlfriend, and she would like tell me, no, you're like hot, like you're like attractive.
So what age was that?
I was 18.
That was out of high school.
Yeah.
That first one.
Yeah. And
so that not the girlfriend, but that was just that first person that in school was just kind of like a little crush type of a thing.
Oh no, that she did not go to our school.
No. What I'm saying is the first girl that you remember. That's what I'm saying. That first girl in school, that was a crush type of a thing. Yeah. Was never an official. Was never anything like that.
Oh no, yeah, no, that was not official.
So you would say, even year 11 and year 12 wasn't really too dark of a time or anything like that. You kind of just cruised through it and just got it done basically.
My darkest point in school was probably just grade 12.
Yep.
Was with that girl.
So that was the cause.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that girl. Yeah, I'd like sort of liked her.
Yep.
Since grade 8, sort of a thing, and
because she was in our tute too.
Yeah, in grade 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just didn't ever do anything about it until grade 12 when I was a bit more like grown up and I was a bit more.
You were a man.
Yeah, yeah.
You weren't Heathy. You were Heath. That's
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. But she fucked me around.
I know she
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And I mean, looking at that now, I mean, year 11 was basically the same premise as year 8, 9, and 10, but just obviously you're a little bit older,
Yeah.
a little bit stupid, a little bit dumber, like with how you talk and act.
Yeah, yeah.
But that year 12, I mean, you were what I seen as well. You were trying to get a good OP at the same time, wasn't it?
Yep, yep.
So you had a lot of work stress. Sorry, you had a lot of school stress on you as well. And I remember you voicing that to me a fair few times. But I mean, throw that girl in the mix as well. That was a bit of a roller coaster for you.
Yeah, that was definitely. Looking back, I think after all that had happened, because she was basically just using me as fun, basically
to
for like
entertain herself.
Yeah, for grade 12.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there, and I should have just,
Red flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's been like, she obviously does not want anything.
No.
I should see how she's treating me and stuff like that. And she just go, but I got obsessed. Honestly, I was obsessed. And I was like, no, like it'll all turn out good. Like I just need to keep going.
Yeah, I know.
And it did not.
I understand that feeling, man. So
yeah.
So with that being said, that was she did muck up in that point in time with how she treated you. I'm sure she's a different person now. I'm sure she has learned.
Yep.
But in that point in time, you would say she was entertaining herself and giving herself that attention that everyone craves, basically.
Yeah.
And you were just on the reciprocating end of that.
Yep.
So you were craving that attention that she would just dribble to you.
Yeah.
And you were giving her all the attention.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was like near the end of grade 12, looking back on it, I would never admit to having mental issues or stuff like that. But upon looking back, I think I did have depression near the end of grade 12, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. Never really something I ever thought about. I would ever have. So
yeah, you'd never say to yourself that you would have it.
Yeah.
You just thought that that's life and that's it. And like I said, that's your attitude. That's the way that you perceive and hold yourself, is you just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not in a sense of a negative way that you don't give a fuck, but you're a ducks off a water back type of a guy.
Yep.
That's what
it's
I'm saying.
It's like, whatever sort of thing.
You just roll with the punches. You just cruise with it.
Yeah.
So that whole high school career was kind of that blur. That year 12, you had that first type of crush that kind of did pull you in that little bit of mental side.
Yeah.
But I mean, you never showed anything like in year 12.
Yes.
In front of me, I'd never seen you suffer whatsoever.
Yes, and that's the other thing. I would completely keep up that
persona,
like
that,
happy,
act,
jokey sort of thing.
Yep.
Like I would never let it show. Never.
So there was no one that you talked to during that.
No. Oh, no, not for most of it. But near the end of it, I was becoming better friends with Lance.
Yep, Armstrong.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
Really good man.
Yeah. We're like best friends now.
Oh,
but back then we didn't really know each other. But
Yeah,
it was
you
just
were
like
split. That's what I mean. It's
yeah.
cool to think that you guys come together at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would just be like on the walk, because he used to live real close to me. So we'd just go, oh hey, we're sort of friendly with each other. Let's just ride our bikes home together.
That's right. You and me used to ride home together.
Yeah.
I remember that. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, and fucking, and then he was the person I sort of talk about, and he would literally tell me like, she's just fucking you around, bro. Like, just stop. And I didn't listen.
I mean, you're young, dumb, and you got a dick, mate, when you think about it. That's literally how you got to think. You're young, dumb, and you got a willy. That's the issue that a lot of men face in today's time. I mean, talking off that, you had that warning. We went through year 12. I mean, our schooling career was kind of what I compare you and me. We were not the same, but we had the same experiences in year 8, and then we just drifted apart. Like we went two polar differences.
Yep.
A question that I have for you, I mean, it does involve me, but one thing that I want to know is, being such good mates in year 8 and having built such that big connection that we had, what was it like for you to see me struggle with drugs and see me kind of go through those hardships that I went through and do what I did?
it was sad. Like,
Yeah.
but we weren't extremely close at that point. We'd sort of drifted apart. I didn't have, the times when you would come to school,
Yeah.
we wouldn't even really talk that much.
I'd just see you and shake your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just sort of like a bystander thing. I just had to watch it.
Yep.
And yeah, it was sad.
So you were aware of it? You did know?
I was aware
To an extent.
I didn't know everything that was happening, but I knew, you weren't in the best place.
Yeah, copy. I always ask that for people because,
Mhm.
I look back in that and, I also as well drifted away and kind of went my own way.
Yeah. Obviously, we were still friends and everything, but it was just like
100%.
Yeah.
Two different ballparks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I felt kind of, it was a bit not shunned whatsoever. I just was like, oh, Heath, you don't like these types of things, so I won't involve Heath.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That
Yep.
was my mindset behind a lot of
Yeah,
things.
okay.
Because whenever I'd bring
That
up,
makes sense.
like I remember year 10, I told you I smoked weed for the first time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you were not impressed. You were not happy.
Yeah, yeah.
You were like, you never do that ever again, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You were very
Mm-hmm.
very persistent with that.
Yeah.
And I told you, I just kept telling you, yeah, nothing's gonna happen, Heath.
Yeah.
It'll be all good, man.
Yeah. Yeah, looking back, I was like so fucking straight edge. I would literally get like whenever I would hear like my friend, like my group, like talking about it, I would like literally be affected. Like
Really?
I would be like thinking about it, like, oh my god, like my friends are like doing this thing, like
They're drug addicts.
yeah. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna like destroy their lives and shit like that. Like,
I
I was so like,
I mean, you can.
oh yeah, you can.
That's the thing. Like,
definitely, but it's just not the way I thought it was back then.
Yeah. It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Well, man, evolving off that, what's that time? You did state with that first girlfriend, that first true girlfriend that you had, that's 18 years old.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
We were completely off the ball. This is
Yeah.
new information to me as well. What was that like? That was your first proper love, wasn't it?
Yep.
And what did you? Was it head over heels?
No.
No. No.
We were very good together, I think.
Yep.
I was still really emotionally awkward
Yep.
at that point. Like,
Yep.
I was just never going away.
Yep.
And I was still, like, I would just, like, it would show in the relationship,
Yeah.
basically. Like, I wouldn't do the same things she would and sort of a thing.
Yep.
I think that lasted 9 months.
Mhm.
And then we broke up.
Yep.
And then after that, it was a bad time for me when we first broke up because I realized how much I cared about her and sort of thing. And so we got back together.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's,
And it's never really good to get back together unless
Yeah.
you're both on the same page.
yeah. But, like, during that time when we first broke up, that was when, like, I finally really thought about my emotions. I was like, why am I so affected by this?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Well, I mean, you would have been blaming yourself because, as you said, you stated that you were carrying that emotional awkwardness into that relationship, and she was doing not all this, but she was doing things for you that you couldn't show to her.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you felt like that on the inside,
Yeah.
but you just weren't physically able to show these emotions that she was showing you.
Yeah.
And I mean, after that breakup, that's gonna play on your mind.
Yeah, and it
Repeatedly.
just sort of like devolved, and like I remember having real bad anxiety attacks at that point. Like,
Elaborate on an anxiety attack for you. It's different for everyone.
yeah.
So what's an anxiety attack for you?
I would just like start shaking,
Yeah,
and like I'd feel real cold,
yeah.
and my hands would lock up. Like I physically had to fight my hands to stop them from
Really?
closing. Yeah, and I just like I like wouldn't be able to think properly. Like,
Any breathing issues?
Oh,
Heart
yeah, I'd be
accelerated? Yeah, tightness of the chest?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
preach it.
Yeah, and like, so I remember I was having a real bad one time, and I was like messaging her, and she came over to like help me, and we eventually like started talking, and I was like, oh, I want to get back together and all that shit.
Yeah.
And we got back together, and it was real good for a bit, because I was like out of my shell, sort of.
So you're saying that last attack before she came over to kind of comfort you kind of made you really wake up and go,
Yeah.
fuck me, man. Like,
Yeah, like what the fuck is going on?
yeah,
Like,
why am I feeling like this?
Yeah.
So in that time of that period of where you're having them anxiety attacks, was that carried out throughout the day? Was that negative thoughts happening throughout the day as well?
Yeah, I would because she worked at the same place as me.
Not HJ's Macca's.
Yeah, came out at that time.
Oh, so you came out at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I would I didn't know what an anxiety attack was, by the way.
Yeah,
At that point.
that's something that I've realized as well. Yeah, because you think you're just dying, or
Yeah.
not dying, but like you think something's wrong in you.
I think I didn't know what was going on, but something was very wrong.
Yeah.
I'd be like literally before a shift having an anxiety attack like in front of everyone,
Yeah,
and I'd just have to go home, and that's happened a couple times.
really.
Yeah.
And you've worked yourself out of that now, or do you still suffer from some anxiety attacks?
No, not recently.
But not not anxiety attacks, but you do still have a bit of anxiousness about you
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
So I never thought of myself as having anxiety or sort of a thing.
Yep.
Like I never thought of myself as having any sort of
Anxiousness.
mental health issue.
Yeah.
And then when we broke up for good, that was when it was like that was probably the darkest time I've ever had.
Yep.
And I had to go to hospital one time because of my anxiety.
Really?
Because I couldn't walk. I remember I
So-
woke up having an anxiety attack.
At home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I woke up in my bed one time.
If
and
you're
I s-
comfortable, elaborate. Like what happened? Explain it completely.
Hmm?
If you're comfortable, elaborate. Like how?
Oh.
Like were you screaming out to someone to help you?
Yeah,
Or?
so I basically I knew it was coming, like you can feel it, right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know the feeling, man.
So I stepped up to go to the shower and have a warm shower.
Yeah.
So that usually helps.
Yeah.
And I couldn't walk. Like I just fell straight back in my bed.
Yeah.
Like my whole body had locked up.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in bed, and it was just like my entire body was like
Jammed together.
jammed together. I could not. It was horrible. And
The life is like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that just makes me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it that ended. I had a little window where I wasn't having any attack. And I quickly called my dad, and I was like, "Dad, I'm having real bad anxiety attacks. Like, can you come home so I have someone here, like sort of thing?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, okay." And I remember he came home when it started happening again.
Yeah.
And I was trying to call out to him, and I was literally I couldn't open my mouth. It was like, "Dad,"
Oh,
Dad,
Fuck.
sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he came in and he's just like, "What the fuck? Like, what's going on?" I had to go to hospital.
And they just said that's an anxiety attack.
Yeah, they're like, they just explained to me all that happened. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's something that man. I've fucking done that shit, man. I don't clamp like that.
Mm.
I don't clamp. It's weird, man. You get that feeling. You know how there's good butterflies
Yeah,
and there's bad butterflies. You get that bad butterfly feeling.
yeah,
And you feel tingly.
yeah.
You feel clammy.
Yeah,
And it's like your breath feels a bit funky.
yeah,
But when you're fully in it, oh man, it really does. I mean, I haven't had a proper bad anxiety attack for probably since last year. But when I was having them, yeah, man, I thought it was death, man. Because you can, in your head, you're like, you're gonna die,
yeah.
or this is serious.
It's like no end to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But something that I've really dealt with now, and figured out ways is just breathing, man.
yeah,
Just your mind is such a powerful thing. Because when you think about it, anxiety is built from the mind and it's built from these emotions that you're suppressing in a way. And one thing that I've really realized is that if you start reinforcing and putting in yourself positive emotions, it'll go away.
mm.
And that's something that I've really fought off a lot of anxiety with. I mean, oh man, I still suffer today. There's still plenty of times
Yeah.
I'm anxious.
Yeah.
But it's controllable.
You can't get rid of that emotion. It's
No.
an emotion.
But it's good to have that emotion.
Yeah,
You'd rather have some form of emotion than just be emotionless
yeah.
and not show anything to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you use it as your own tool, it's obviously going to benefit you. So to wrap back to what we were talking about, that first breakup was the hardest time that you had experienced in that mental side.
Yeah, well, when we properly broke up.
Yeah,
Not that break in
the
between.
big breakup.
Yeah, well, so much shit happened. It was like,
There's obviously arguments between each other. You're saying things that you don't want to say.
yeah. Well, obviously she had mental issues too. She
Yeah.
suffers from depression pretty bad.
No.
But when we first got back together after that break, I'd found out that she'd slept with one of my friends, and not a close friend, but just like a friend,
An
from work.
acquaintance. Yeah.
Yeah. And that obviously, that didn't sit well with me. But obviously we weren't together at that point.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I'm just not friends with him anymore. But,
It'd be a lot more than that. Yeah. I feel
yeah.
that. Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there.
Yeah, but it was the fact that she would message him every day that really like.
Why are you still dating?
Yeah,
Really?
like we were back together and she would talk to him every day, and it got to a point where I was just like, you know, stop. Like you can't do this. Like it's really affecting me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, as it fucking would.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, that's something that I got to ask you, man. Like, well, now you're pretty far in with a relationship. You've been there with that.
Yep.
Jealousy is a massive thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you let jealousy control you, it's
Yeah.
not gonna end well.
Yeah.
Like I elaborated in that first potty, or in a few actually, I've elaborated. With jealousy, it really does kind of bring out the worst in you as well.
Yeah.
Because you become jealous of that person and jealous of the emotion that they're showing to that other person.
Yeah.
So, what, did you confront her, or was that?
Yeah, I was eventually like, you have to stop, otherwise, you know, this will be the end of our relationship. This will cause the end of our relationship.
Yeah.
And she fought for it. She's like, oh, he's just a friend. Like, I don't think of him in that way. She fought to like keep talking to him. I was like, you know, this isn't about you. This is something you need to do for me. Like,
and see, I feel like there always should be push and pulls in relationships. Always. And I mean, it's all scenario based. So it's all obviously, I'm fine with a girl that I'm dating or a girlfriend to talk to another bloke. I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit. But in that circumstance, I'm the exact same. I'm feeling the exact same way. Because, you know, in my head, that kind of just tells me if you're willing to sleep with that man, you're willing to sleep with that man again. And that's kind of how I feel with relationships. And I mean, probably a lot of people aren't going to be okay with that and not like and respect my decision. But I am an old school guy at the end of the day.
I feel like it's honestly normal.
Yeah.
To think that.
Yeah, but a lot of people look down to that as well.
Yeah.
You know how they are in 2022.
Fuck them.
Yeah, literally, fuck them, bro. But, man, that relationship that ended, how long was that gap where you kind of was in that dark patch? Where did you start to... Did you kind of see a progression of where your mental was coming back, or how long?
Sadly, it only came back when we got together. Like, that was the only time we got... And that's not good, because it should be you that brings you back out of that dark place.
So you're saying from that first breakup, you're in that dark, and when you got back together, or are you saying from the next girlfriend?
From the break.
Yep.
That's like, it was like for a month. We had like broken up before or something like that. And that's when it was going real bad for me. And then when we got back together, it started getting better.
Because you were depending yourself on that emotion. You were depending yourself on that second person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that breakup ended, when that relationship ended, when you just broke up completely, how long did it take for you? Or, better question, what happened?
Yeah, so it just went straight back to how it was, but even worse, actually.
So still suffering from the anxiety attacks?
Yeah, real bad. But after a bit, because I was just like, you know, oh, I love you. Like, oh, I thought I was going to marry you and stuff. And she did not, she wasn't very nice with the way she broke up with me. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Oh, man, that hits me in the feels. I feel that 100%, man.
Yeah.
And I feel one thing I'll elaborate with is a lot of, you know how there's this stigma? You know, men don't cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this stigma that we carry about men.
Toxic masculinity.
I feel like it's polar opposite with males. Yeah. If you find yourself a good man, that man is willing to put his fucking life out for you. Like, that's the thing. Like, as you said, you convinced yourself that you're going to marry this girl.
Yeah.
Every girl I've dated, I've convinced myself that this will be that one girl.
Yeah. And
that's something that really hurts, is because when it ends, you've got to fucking tear that emotional connection that you have with that person in your mind. That's something I just want to elaborate on. So that relationship ended, and it obviously didn't end well. There was obviously words said, and how it was handled wasn't the right way.
Yeah, well, it wasn't very nice. And basically, I eventually was just like, this is fucked. Like, how, like, I am. So I need to go and see someone. And I saw my doctor. They referred me to a psych. Yep. And that's when it started getting better.
So you did seek help?
Yeah.
In the end, you did seek
Yep.
help.
Yep.
And you had a psychologist and you sat there and talked with him.
Yep. And he told me, yeah, you've probably had depression, anxiety your whole life. And I'd never even thought that I would even be close to having that shit.
Well, fuck, man, sitting back here and talking with you, I mean, as you explained and as you said, you know, the self-body image issues that you were carrying throughout being a young fella, I mean, there's a form of anxiety.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thoughts that you carried about yourself, there's a form of depression as well.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, and at that point, thinking back, it's obvious.
Yeah.
It was obvious that I had that stuff, but I just didn't think I did.
That's what I mean. You
Yeah.
never think about it, but looking back, you can always see that picture so clearly.
Yeah.
So with that psychologist, were you ever prescribed any medication, or it was just verbal?
Oh, yeah. Not with the psychologist, but my doctor. I had some stuff for my insomnia, and I'm on antidepressants.
Currently?
Yeah, currently.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like for 2 years or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's helping. Definitely in a way better place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, even if I wasn't in a relationship now, I would be happy.
Yeah, you'd be content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So evolving from that the first relationship to the second relationship, is there any tools that you really used going into that relationship, or was there any mindsets or anything that you built on yourself to really not protect yourself, but to use going into that relationship?
Yeah. Definitely. I went straight into this one with completely loving attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I said I have to treat this person right from the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause you can't make up for it in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, there's going to be points where that doesn't apply. Like, you're going to slip
Yeah.
and do some shit, but that's just relationships.
Yeah.
And I've also haven't completely depended myself on this person. So if anything does happen, like, I hope they don't, but because it's a very good relationship, but if anything does happen, I will be safer than last time.
That's such a big thing, man. Like, that is such a big thing. I was the exact way for all three of these relationships that I had. I was so independent on that opposite person. You know, you depend your own happiness on that person.
Yeah.
When they're sad, you're sad, and I mean, it should be like that in a relationship.
Yeah.
Obviously, you should share that emotion, but it's when you share that emotion in that negative way, and you see them sad because of negative reasons, and you make yourself responsible and reliable on that to try and make them feel that happy way. See, man, I really resonate with that completely. So, just to start to wrap it up towards the end, is there any tools that you really recommend, except for that fucking little nicotine thing that you smoke on? Is there any tools that you recommend for anyone in life to really
Pussy?
yeah. It's a bomb ass pussy. I mean, is there anything that you've built or that you've learnt from your psychiatrist or that you've learnt from just your own trial and error that you really could recommend to someone out there that's suffering? Or
Yeah,
it's a tough
I've
question.
never really thought about it, but honestly, that persona, well, not really persona, but just like that, you know, it will always turn out. Like, don't worry about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a shame that it happened, whatever it was, but you've got a lot of years left of your life.
100%.
Anything else can happen. Better things will definitely happen, and worse things will happen, but that's just life.
There's always a yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
There's always dark, there's always light. It's just how you control that dark and light.
Yeah.
You can always have light for a long time, but then
Yeah.
you can have light for such a dark. I mean, you can have the dark for such a long time.
Mm.
You can always have that dark for such a long time, and just have that little glimpse of light. It's really how you juggle it.
Mm.
That's something that I really, really, really push
Yeah.
myself with right now.
It's just like the hardest bit is seeing it when you're in the dark, is seeing the light, like seeing the end of it, because it will end.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to see it when you're in that place.
So, do you currently read now? Obviously, like recreational. Is there anything that you're putting in work for?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. From that mindset, like, is there any books that help?
Oh, books, like self-help books?
Or just anything really?
Oh,
I mean, some I read not self-help books, but The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I've read that like
Yeah.
10 times. That's a real mind type of a book. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you read like that?
Honestly, I started reading. Oh, I have read all of the Dune books. Like
Yeah.
Dune, yeah, really
The
good
movie?
books. Yeah, the ones that's just come out.
Yeah.
They're based off books.
Yep. As every movie
Yeah,
almost is.
yeah.
But do you enjoy that? Yeah.
Oh, that honestly, those books like reignited my love of sci-fi.
And your creative passion.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm now reading like H.P. Lovecraft, like cosmic like horror sort of stuff, and
Yeah.
like just like his way of describing that we could just be so small to what everything else is out there.
Yeah.
Is really interesting.
Or it opens your mind.
Yeah.
And it can kind of scare you but put you at ease at the same
Yeah.
time, because there's so many other things in this universe
Yeah,
that-
stuff you couldn't even imagine.
that
like,
you're so minute.
Yep.
That this little issue that you're suffering
Yeah.
from right now, just,
yeah.
ducks off a water's back.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, also, do you remember? You know those lockers in that bay near. You know the L block, in high school.
On the senior side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know those lockers that were zip tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I just thought I'd add that in.
You just thought you'd add that so you come forth of all the crimes you've committed.
Yeah. Mr. fucking Toman.
Or did he
The-
blame you for it? And
No,
you just,
no.
and you were like, nah, man, that's
Nobody
not me.
knew.
Nobody knew it.
No, well, everyone blamed it on Bailey because it was like
Mission accomplished.
wait, it's actually such a fucking funny story that. So, do you mind if I tell?
Yeah, run it, bro.
Yeah, it was. So it was, just before the school holidays.
Yeah. What year? What grade?
I can't remember. I think it was grade 11 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Near the end, I think.
Yeah.
But we'd always put shit in Bailey's locker because he would never have a lock on it. He destroyed it in grade 8 and never got another one. The fucking
I remember.
And
That's
so-
one thing that we found hard.
We-
Remember trying to unlock
Oh,
our
yeah,
lockers when we
yeah.
first learnt? Yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, elaborate.
So many people had to get their locks bolt cut off
Yeah.
because I fucking couldn't remember. But we'd always fuck with his locker and like pull books out and shit, just because it was funny, like watching
Yeah.
him go up and being like, "Oh, my shit's all out."
Yeah.
Or like finding a sandwich in his
Yeah,
locker or
yeah.
something. But it was just before a 2-week holiday, and me and Braden put a tuna sandwich underneath all his books.
You can't. Yeah.
He maybe didn't deserve it, but it was pretty funny. And for 2 weeks, it sat there.
Oh.
We totally forgot about it. And Bailey came up to us one time, like at the start of school for that term. He's like, "My locker really fucking smells. Like there's something wrong with it." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh shit, yeah." Me and Braden put a tuna sandwich in there before holidays. He's like, "Fucking hell." We went over, opened it, and it looked like a fucking horror movie. There was like
Mold.
no, there was gunk, like some sort of
extraterrestrial thing had
yeah.
grown.
There was
yeah.
like this liquid like goo
Oh.
buildup all around his books and his locker, and there were maggots and shit in it, and climbing out of it. And I'm like, oh no! And the smell.
Oh.
That is the worst smell I've ever smelt in my life.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he just did not clean it out. So it was like a week or something, a couple of weeks. He was using that locker.
Oh.
Whenever he would open it up, everyone in his locker, mate, would just be like, "Oh, what the fuck is that smell?" It was so funny.
See, man, my locker was my year 12 locker was that not T block, whatever that.
Yeah.
Remember the Dunnies?
Yeah.
That was my locker in that little bay area. No one had a locker
Yeah.
in there. But
Yeah.
you remember in year 8 when they poured milk in my locker?
No?
You don't remember
No?
that? Bailey Corbett.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bless her soul, Bailey Corbett. Unlocked my locker and someone else poured milk in there. And it stayed in there for like, because, I never used my
What,
fucking locker.
Yeah.
I just used that bag. I just carry that
Yeah,
bag
yeah,
everywhere with
yeah.
the books in it. I never unlocked my locker because I never take a backpack to school.
Yeah.
And then, I unlocked my locker like 4 weeks later and there was maggots inside the fucking locker. I had to get Kenny, the old fucking groundsman.
Yeah.
Take all my shit out there and the old fucking cunt had to blast it out with a hose. Anyway, man. Listen, man, I'm going to ask you a couple questions before I end this up.
Okay.
What has been the most impactful thing on your life? Anything. Just the most impactful thing.
just like coming to grips with mental health.
Yep.
Like just learning that you have it.
Yep.
And learning that how to deal with it. Once you have accepted that you have it.
Yeah. It's the first step, I guess.
Yeah. You can't really help yourself if you're like, no, I'm not depressed, but you're like sitting there wanting to kill yourself, sort of a thing.
My other question is, if there was anything that you could change, what would it be?
I should have been more confident in primary school. I should have said yes to some of those girls that said they like me, sort of a thing.
Yeah, is that something that you look back on?
Yeah, I look back on it, I'm like, you're a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have just believed that they
Should've
actually
just trusted
did
it.
like me. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And the last thing that I'll say is there anything that you can really recommend for anyone? Like, if someone's sitting out there, man, right now, and they're obviously upset, they're obviously depressed, they're obviously kind of relating to what you went through, and they're suffering from anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. What's one thing that you'd tell them?
Just like get help. Like, don't be afraid to get help, accept help. And obviously there's some people that deal with it who are like seeing a therapist or something, and it's just like they're still in the same place, it's not working. But like, it doesn't have to be a therapist. Like, talk to your friends about it. You know, they probably are going through the same stuff, and you know, it might help opening your eyes a bit.
Okay, Mr. Heath, is there anything you'd like to say before we clock off? Is there anything that you'd want to put out to the people? Is there anything that's buzzing around your little head?
Shout out to Jack Christensen.
Yeah?
Yeah, he didn't want me to say his name on the podcast, so I am.
Why didn't he want you to say his name?
Because he's a fucking pussy. He's a little pussy-ass bitch.
What, did you tell him that you were coming on the podcast?
Yeah. I was playing games with him earlier today, and I was like, oh, I'm going on the podcast. Should I say that you raped me in school or something? He's like, no, don't mention my name. I was
What,
like,
Jack
okay.
Christensen?
Yeah.
True. What games you were playing?
I think we were playing Project Zomboid and Age of Empires today.
Oh, yeah, gangster. Oh, anyway. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been the Altruistic Podcast. I'd just like to say thank you, man. This has been Heath Bolt's episode. I mean, man, if you're more than welcome to get on in the future.
Fuck yeah.
Talk about some other things as well.
Yeah.
I mean, man, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Yeah,
you know I love you, man.
Yep, love you too.
You know I really do, bro. You know you've always been there. I've always been there for you. And yeah, I'd just like to say thank you for jumping on and really showing your support.
No worries, man. Anytime.
Dab me up, you little bastard. All right. Everyone, it's been your boy Noah. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.